The oil-rich and glamorous United Arab Emirates has announced it's appointed new ministers of tolerance and ministers of happiness as part of its cabinet reshuffle as it attempts to cement its position as the Arab world's most eye-catching nation. Well, the Prime Minister, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid al-Maktoum, who is also the ruler of Dubai, he also implemented a council of youth and put a 22-year-old woman in charge. He said a new post, Minister of State for Happiness, will align and drive government policy to create social good and satisfaction. The post of Minister of State for Tolerance has been created to promote tolerance as a fundamental value in UAE society. Well, it's quite interesting. It's quite fun to talk about these things. Minister of Happiness, Minister of Tolerance. You don't necessarily associate that with the Arab world. A little bit more background. We don't know the day-to-day duties yet of what they will actually have to do. But the talk is that the tolerance minister, at least, is symbolically important, especially because many residents in the UAE, particularly in Dubai, are expats. We're talking Christians, Shia Muslims, from many other religions besides Sunni Islam. And people in Dubai often party, they drink a lot. Some of what goes on there isn't widely accepted in the Arab communities, but they want to welcome these expats. They want to create this atmosphere of happiness, of tolerance, and also bear in mind that Dubai offers this zero tax policy, which is one of the incentives for people from abroad to come and live in Dubai because they won't get taxed, they can earn good money there. But with the downfall of oil, this zero tax policy might not be around for much longer. So there may be a whole host of reasons why they've implemented these things. Certainly putting a 22-year-old woman in charge of this Council of Youth is a step forward. What do you think about these new measures?
Any state that has to have prescribed government-authorized happiness, government-authorized tolerance, that speaks to something. So the idea is that it wasn't happy and it wasn't tolerant beforehand. How do you impose, I'm going to ask, it's a somewhat rhetorical question, but how does one impose happiness? It's like, you must be happy now. And if you don't have a smile on your face, then you get written up. I don't quite understand how this is anything more than a PR stunt. But at the same time, it does speak, as you said, it does speak to a problem. Whilst on one level, I want to be, this is great that they're being progressive, they're looking to. On the other hand, it's how do you actually, what are they going to do that's meaningful, that's really going to change? And what does that speak to? What kind of society does it speak to where they feel the need to have somebody in charge of happiness?
Well, Dubai is obviously very different from the other Arab Emirates, and they obviously do want to appeal to youth. They do want to appeal to people who aren't necessarily, who aren't Arab, Christians, cultures. Here's a quote from Sheikh Mohammed. He said, "Governments must be flexible. We don't need more ministries, but more ministers capable of dealing with change. We want a young and flexible government that will fulfill our youth's aspirations and achieve our people's ambitions." So it does seem that they're trying to be forward-thinking. They're trying to accommodate the different demographics of people that they have there. But one thing to remember is that Abu Dhabi is the wealthiest of the Emirates, and it's all because of the oil. Dubai has really been competitive with Abu Dhabi only because of tourism, trading, transport. We've seen things like these multi-million-dollar islands. We've seen the ski resorts indoors, the ski slopes indoors, all sorts of things. So Dubai has this definitely a different take on how it's perceived. But at the same time, we see that the UAE still jails activists, still jails various Islamists. We saw that 2 of the 9/11 attackers came from there. So as you mentioned, this could well just be a marketing ploy, and perhaps, if different legislation was put in place in terms of things like gender equality, they may not need to be doing something like this.
Right. It's, more than something around 90% of UAE residents are non-citizens. So that really speaks to the huge expat or huge immigrant, if you will, or worker population. And a lot of it is from Southeast Asia, a lot of it's from Europe as well, but a lot of it's from Southeast Asia. And it's definitely playing to that. This is designed, addressed at that community. But you're right, this is an absolute monarchy that lives under, for its citizens, for its actual, United Arab Emirates citizens live and subject to Sharia law. So this is there's going to be an interesting clash of those two cultures, an interesting clash of those two regimes where you have, as you said, this tolerance and happiness within something, and within another structure that is restrictive.
Well, yes, as you say, the collapse of certain Arab states, the emergence of ISIS, all these things seem to have fueled this sense of urgency. There now seems to be changes that are being made. Obviously, Sheikh Mohammed, one of the changes he's making, he's put in a minister of happiness, a minister of tolerance, and this council of youth. So certainly some forward-thinking change being done there by the UAE.